All right, everybody. So what does the empty tomb mean for humanity? So we got this amazing story where Mary walks up to the tomb, and you have basically the empty tomb, an angel on each side. So we have a picture here of the Ark of the Covenant, and yet the presence is no longer in the tomb. The presence is not there. So what does that mean? And we start to realize what this means when Jesus starts interacting with Mary, and basically he says to Mary, "Don't cling to me, because I go to ascend to my God and your God, and to my Father and your Father." So basically what Jesus is implying is that I'm going to ascend to God so I can transcend. And we start seeing this even in that very gospel where Jesus is showing up at one point as a gardener, and then he's like a stranger on the road to Emmaus, and then a fisherman giving advice to his disciples. So we already see this transcendence of God transcending into all of humanity, so he could fill all in all, and the oneness of all things. And this is really the new basis that we live on, and we need to start seeing the oneness of each other and encountering God in each other. It basically says in John that he who dwells in love dwells in God, and God in him. And that is where we can encounter God now in each other, where two or more are gathered in his name. There he is in the midst. And also, if you've done it to the least of my brethren, you've done it to me. He didn't say you've done it for me. He said you did it to me. And so this is the way we need to see each other as humanity, to encounter each other in love and in compassion. Actually, the New Testament Greek word, which I can't even pronounce, for compassion, it's a very pregnant word, no pun intended, but it basically means to carry, like a woman would carry a child inside of her, not only within her, but as part of her. And that's what we're supposed to do with each other. We can start experiencing God and encountering God through each other in the oneness of all things. And actually, not only do we find each other and God in each other and within ourselves, but we actually find our own personalities in each other. And actually, the word for person, personae, where we get this word, it's actually a word that comes from what the Trinity had and how we used to describe the Trinity's personhood. And it's basically a Greek word for masks that they used to use in plays. And the mask would be large, so they would have a larger personality, and they would sound through it as through a megaphone. And this is what it was used to describe the Trinity. Basically, they would be receiving from each other. They would be receiving their from another person, and then sounding through the mask. And so within their oneness, they would receive from the other one, and then it would sound through their unique impression and their unique face. And so this is the way that we truly find each other, is that we basically, within the oneness of each other, we're part of something far bigger than just our little individual selves. And when we're in relationship, loving each other and receiving from each other, we receive what the other person has, and then we sound through our own distinct personality, and we sound through the oneness through our own ancestry and culture and history, and that oneness expressed through each individual is truly where we find our own personhood. And so that's amazing, and this is mysticism. Mysticism is losing our small egoic selves and losing kind of this whole self-focus on ourselves, and finding the oneness of God in all things, and finding the oneness of each other in all things. So it's just a little thought I had this morning. So the empty tomb signifies that now God has transcended, and he can be encountered in each other, within the oneness of each other, and within the oneness of humanity. God bless.